Okay, we're back on the bonus stage, and I had the good fortune of getting my hands on the upcoming Sony Xperia X1. Sony Ericsson Xperia X1. Okay, let's take a look. Hi guys, I'm here with the Sony Ericsson X1 Xperia. And if you guys have seen any of the Who is Johnny X video clips, you know that they spent a lot on marketing this phone. If you are unfamiliar, here's the lowdown on what it's all about. Instead of flashes of semi-naked, gorgeous women and a male figure who's buffed up to the eyeballs, Sony Ericsson decided to go down the viral route in making a pretty long advert on a man who wakes up with amnesia. And this guy starts piecing his life together when he buys the Xperia X1. Through using the phone's features, Johnny finds out what happened and who did what to him. I must say that the production values are very high and it's a bit too polished even. But then again, it's a step away from conventional phone adverts, so I'll definitely give props for that. Okay, back to the phone. Okay, I managed to get first-hand bits on what the phone is about, and first of all, it's a very, very well-connected phone. Given that it has 3G broadband and a HSDPA of 7.2 megabits per second and HSUPA of 2.0 megabits per second. It also has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth with up to 10 meters, and GRPS with internet dial-up connection. So it has all the stuff that smartphones nowadays have. So what makes this so special? Browsing through the web is pretty decent and pictures load fairly quickly. One thing to note is that voice call quality is very good. It's very crisp, very clear. On-screen real estate is also very sharp with WVGA offering 800 by 480 pixels. Sony Ericsson does know its cameras, so the pictures taken are very sharp and even in low lighting, fairly decent. The customizable panels are also unique and it gives the phone a very new aesthetic feel to it. With various applications, you also can look at it with two views. One is the 3x3 and one is the fan view. I also like the panel with lots of information like temperature, date, time, calendar, all packed into one screen. Because even though I have no use for the information, I just like to have it. Some people do say they like the fish application shown here. Even though there was a similar application on the iPhone some time back, Sony Ericsson takes it a step further by corresponding with various input. Like, let's say if you miss a call, you get an extra fish. Or if you have a new SMS, a new fish will come out. And then you can play with these fishes. The four-way key is also a pretty nifty feature, which means you can move up, down, left, right with ease. This gives added control to the already quite extensive touchscreen. A slight gripe is that sometimes it's too sensitive. So maybe you might find yourself inadvertently pressing a selection that you don't want. Next up, the arc slider. I think it's a pretty good feature because what happens is that when you slide the phone out, it turns up. So you don't have to tilt it to use it. Like, sometimes when you slide things out, you have to look at it like in different angles, right? So I mean, pretty well thought out. And it's ergonomics, man. Ergonomics. The keypad is also pretty spaced out. Once you get used to it, I can imagine people churning out dozens of SMSs per second. The on-screen keyboard tends to be a little bit small, and even with the stylus, it can get a bit difficult to type out the SMS unless you're pretty accurate. And that's it for the Sony Xperia X1. I hope you guys have enjoyed the little review.
So actually, would you have gotten that phone?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me, is it fish or fishes?
Yeah.
Okay, but we were discussing, and because the fish, when you get a missed call, it turns grey, so it becomes a different kind of fish. So it's fishes.
So like it becomes what? Lohan?
Don't know.
Like
Goldfish
arowana.
to arowana. If you have a long SMS, it becomes, I don't know. Okay. Sorry, what did you say?
I was wondering if...
I would have gotten the phone.
Because I actually read about the phone a while ago and I was waiting. A
lot of hype, a lot of waiting, anticipation and all that.
And then I got something else.
Yeah.
You got the same one.
Yeah, I did because we are in it together. No, but the thing is that I think a lot of it has to do with the waiting. I think when the wait is too long, I think a lot of, like for the iPhone, I had to wait for a long while. But you know, even so, the price was too steep for me, and in the end I decided to get something else because I mean, when you are trapped by this desire, you know, really, when you're trapped by this want of a product, you feel very
it's quite true. Actually,
you know?
I was quite desperate to get a new phone, and then and I got it really quickly. Even though like there are people telling me, "Why don't you just wait for the price to drop? Why don't you just wait for the price to drop?"
But in the end, there's always going to be new products coming out.
Yeah, so you just have to make the decision and pick one and get it. But I think that's actually quite a good-looking phone.
Yeah, it is. I discussed with my colleague Prem, and some other issues did pop up. For him, the screen was crisp, but too small for regular reading. And he felt the metal chassis felt solid, but you know, was a fingerprint magnet.
Actually, do you think the screen is big enough, like compared to what the other products are on the market? There's HTC, and I mean, touchscreen is all the rage now. Yeah,
I think touchscreen is while it's cool, sometimes going back to the old, you know, SMSing, using the number pad is quite,
Actually, I realized, especially for people who dial while they drive, so it's more by touch, right? The feel of the buttons. So they can't actually do it with touchscreen phones.
Actually, if they have the BlackBerry Storm, they could do it because it's a touchscreen that is also a clickable touchscreen, tactile thingy. So that's quite interesting. And I think one other thing that we were talking about is how, like, you know, technology converged into this little device, and sooner or later, you know, everything is all boiled down to this little device. And you know, sometimes the features that it has, it sort of overruns because you have an iPod, you get an iPhone, you get a something, and you know, you don't need so many devices.
Yeah, because for me, I personally have a smartphone and an iPod Touch. Yeah. And basically, iPod Touch does everything the phone does other than make calls.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And
it's just consumerism for me. It's like, I want this, and you don't really think about whether you need it or... Yeah.
I think some of us, like my friends and I, do feel that we want separate devices for separate things. Also.
Yeah, I think it's more convenient in a way, because then when a call comes, just take out your earphones and...
Yeah.
But then people with the iPhone will just tell you when a call comes in, just click and you answer.
Yeah, but you see, if you have everything, all your eggs in one basket, if you lose a device, then, well, you know, that's the end of the story, you know. Everything will be gone.
Yeah, that's true. And another thing I didn't like about getting the smartphone was, then I realized I can forward all my emails to the phone and like from work and everything. And then I realized that's quite a stupid thing to do.
Well, because you become, it's called addicted to the crackberry, right?
Yeah, then every time you're just sitting there and then you just like, then you get some email from work and you're just like,
You know, one thing that I did...
so I stopped doing that already.
No, there was one time that I started subscribing to like SMSs, as in like to news. So whenever there's like breaking headlines, I'll get an SMS or something. And I realized that, hey...
Do you want to be bothered every 1 hour with...
Yeah! No, the worst thing was, this was during when Asia 1 had this promotion, and it was on the Olympics. Then there was this Royal Sporting House voucher that I wanted to win, so I secretly just joined it. Then it always like, tring.
So did you win?
No.
No, it wasn't really worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't really worth it. I was finding out information about Russian gymnasts going to jail or something. And I was like, oh, wow.
Do I really need to know this?
Yeah, do I really need to know this? Okay, moving on. Yeah, we actually have a trailer of some games that are upcoming. So we are going to show it here. Take a look.
I was betrayed, sold. But what does it matter?
Velvet Assassin is an upcoming stealth action video game for the Xbox 360 and Microsoft Windows. It's slated to be released in early 2009. The game is inspired by real-life World War II secret agent / saboteur Violet Zabel. Players take the role of Violet Summer as she goes behind enemy lines to thwart the German war machine. We should definitely have more female characters taking the lead role in games. Plus, she looks pretty hot.
Battles are fought on the front line.
Final Fantasy Versus 13 is an action role-playing game developed and published by Square Enix for the Sony PS3. It's slated for release in early 2009. Alongside Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy Agito 13, the game is a part of the Fabula Nova Crystallis Final Fantasy 13 compilation. I've been a big fan of the Final Fantasy franchise, but the recent ones, aside from PSP's Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, have been a bit of the same old. Different hair, different names, but roughly speaking of the same script. Hopefully this energizes the franchise.
Okay.
That's right, okay!
That's all the time we have, actually.
Yeah. But I want to say that I really like Final Fantasy.
And I want to say that I've never played it before.
Yeah, but after a while, it was really cool when I was just like, it was like really like 2D and very flat and very pixelated. That was damn cool, then suddenly became so good looking. I mean, so good looking for what? Okay, bye. That's it, thank you, bye.